Hello and welcome to another piece of supplemental face content. This is the best of 2022 as deemed by the members of the Face podcast. My name is Jeff Ramsey. With me, as always, Gavin Free, Andrew Panton, way out there in Canada, and then Eric and Nick are here as well. This is 100% Andrew's idea. However, he tried to disown it 3 minutes ago.
The whole time you weren't in here, Gavin,
While I was getting my shoe back?
It was Andrew distancing himself from the thing we were about to do.
That he presented to the audience or to the group.
First of all, I suggested it as an idea. I was like, hey, we could do this. We don't have to do this. Jeff was very against it. We talked about it in the episode we just recorded. And then today when we started, I was like, we don't have to. It doesn't really matter to me. It's not a big deal. And Jeff's like, no, I did prep. We're doing this. So
in the episode, I said it. I determined it was a good idea.
No, yeah. In the episode, you said
positive.
originally you didn't want to do it, and then you thought it was a good idea.
I mean, it's been talked about and promoted in an episode. Clearly, we're going to do it. Why the fuck wouldn't we?
Eric still has an icy hot at his balls, and that was promoted 5 weeks ago.
Dude, listen. I am
Jeff
of the
almost
opinion
did it by himself.
I am of the opinion that we try not to piss Eric off anymore today.
I just had questions. No one answered my questions, and now we're rolling for 9 minutes.
Well,
and
what was your question?
Doesn't matter. We talk about
you want to cut Jeff reading his recipe book to himself?
You asked for a carrot soup recipe.
No, I was making a point of I wouldn't know how to make carrot soup. Gavin was saying, who needs that? It's so obvious. I don't think I do know how to make carrot soup. I would need a recipe.
2022 was in many ways the shittiest of the pandemic trilogy for me.
Yeah.
Started in 2020. We thought, well, 2021 can't be as bad as 2020. And then it was worse. And then I thought, foolishly, 2022 cannot be worse than 2021. Boy, was it in a myriad of ways. A couple of car accidents, COVID, a million vacations got canceled, dogs died,
your mouth got sewn apart.
my mouth
Still don't have a fridge.
I had my gum thing. I still don't have a fridge.
You still don't have a fridge.
I get one in February. I'm 2 months away or 3 months away now. I forgot I had a surprise root canal. Remember the COVID activated a previous root canal and they had to re-root canal it? I had that whole thing. I had jock itch for 80% of the year. Just one thing after another was just worse than the last. However, some things were extremely positive, and I didn't realize it. And that's why I like that Andrew presented this as a potential content, because it forced me to sit down and try to think of positive things that happened in 2022. Turns out there were a lot.
That's great.
A lot of good stuff that happened in 2022. We all compiled a list. I'll go first because I know Gavin didn't compile a list, and we'll give him a little bit of time.
I just couldn't think of anything.
First off, right off the bat, and I got to lead with this.
Okay.
I got engaged. Emily said yes. Emily, the most wonderful woman, the most wonderful woman in the world, said yes to me, and so that was awesome. Highlight of the year right there. Then my daughter Millicent, young Millie, not so young anymore, 17. She had a surgery. She had a surgery, basically had her face rebuilt in June. That has been in the works for half of her life. And it's been this huge monumental moment that we've been working towards with fear and trepidation and excitement and a lot of stress. And we did it, and the recovery was a nightmare and it was brutal. But she did recover, and she's in a much better place physically. And that was a huge success. So that was a big weight off my shoulders.
You were telling me about that even back when I lived with you. You were
since she's been 7 or 8. Yeah, we've known about it her whole life. And so it was this huge gravitational pull that was pulling all of our stress and energy into this event. And then it finally happened, and we got through it, and it was awesome. And she, it wasn't awesome, but the surgery went really well, and she recovered really well, and she was a trooper, and she's great. And so that's a huge success.
How has that felt being over that? Is it like a sigh of relief thing, or is it like a constant, I feel 10 pounds lighter?
I feel 100 pounds lighter.
Okay.
It is, the brutality of it is that I went through the surgery. And so I remembered it all. And so I knew what she had ahead of her. Now, I knew that she had a less severe version than I did, and technology has grown leaps and bounds. So hopefully it was an easier surgery, but still, it's just brutal, and it's hard to have your face all cut up. It's hard not to be able to open your mouth for 6 weeks. It's hard not to be able to eat anything solid for 6 weeks. And then so I was just heartbroken knowing she was going to go through it, but also excited to know that once she's through it, and then she's set for the rest of her life. And so I'm fucking jazzed about that.
That's the thing that made you really violently push out like a tiny little pea of shit, right? When you couldn't eat for so long.
Yeah, you're right. My first dump after my surgery, and Millie had trouble dumping too after her surgery, I think, but I don't think it was as severe. It took me 3 weeks to take a shit after my surgery, and then I finally did, and I cried. It hurt so bad, and when I looked down on the toilet, it was like the size of a peanut M&M.
Oh my God.
And it was covered in milk of magnesia because I had been drinking milk of magnesia all day, every day. It was just like a white, goopy white peanut M&M that ripped my asshole.
Nick's gonna throw up.
From my throat to my sphincter, just ripped me up. It was brutal. Don't ever take 3 weeks off.
I'm sorry.
The body closes back up.
Woof.
You need to constantly. It's like Wolverine's claws.
Use your
You
holes.
need to constantly shit. You need to constantly use that hole, or it'll close back up.
Just like
Wolverine's claws. Yeah. Okay. So Emily said yes. Millie had her surgery, and it was a huge success. Other things that were good about 2022. Hitting baseballs.
Yeah.
I rediscovered a love of hitting baseballs. That was a huge bonus for me in 2022. Something that I hadn't done since I was probably 17 or 18 and I had forgotten about. And it brought me tons of joy, a lot of pain.
I think that's the most people have been surprised and impressed with you in real life.
It was really impressive
shocked.
to see.
Not this entire building that we're all working in this industry.
No, because that happened really slowly over time. And
Okay.
but that was like, no one was expecting that on that day.
It was like,
you did it.
Oh,
it was like more of a Gus thing too. So
I was driving around over the weekend, and it was more of a Gus thing. Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right, listen. I'm not going to talk shit about. Here's why. I'm gonna refrain from engaging in that because I got to get through this list, and you'll see why. Regardless, as an aside, I went by Roy G. Guerrero Park over the weekend. Yeah. Great baseball fields. Yeah. I don't know if that's an option for us.
I can check it out.
They're like, I think center field's like 340.
Oh, nice.
So it's pretty big. I had no way I could hit it out of that.
Yeah.
But I'd love to try. Next, tap. I know tap has existed for a long time, but and it's certainly over in Europe and the UK, but I feel like in America, you tap your credit card to pay.
Oh,
I feel like in 2022, tap.
I was trying to figure out what he was
payment.
Tap finally fucking works in America and works well.
Crazy.
To the point where I
use
tap
to pay. I still thought you were talking about tap dancing.
No, tap to pay.
I was trying to figure out what tap. I thought it was a beverage.
I know it's existed before 2022, but I feel like now there's been enough turnover that like HEBs and everywhere let you tap to pay now, and it works like a fucking
Tab the soda. Yeah.
No, Tab the Soda sucks.
That's why I was really confused when you said it was one of the best things of 2022.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah,
Tap.
that's what I was thinking too.
Depoy.
What?
Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh.
First time a guard has won Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA in over 20 years since Gary Payton, the Glove, did it. One of the greatest, maybe the greatest defensive guards of all time. That was a huge, huge win for me. And by the way, as of this recording, this isn't on the list, but as of this recording, the Boston Celtics are the best team in basketball. That's pretty awesome too. So love that. Next thing, music. Really liked music in 2022.
Really?
Really enjoyed it. Next, Shabu Shabu.
Nice.
Well, wait.
What's that, Andrew?
I was just going to say, do you have any music, like specific music?
Oh, I love tons of great music that I listened to in 2022. Really enjoyed it. Shabu Shabu.
Okay.
Fantastic. Love Shabu Shabu. Can't get enough of it. Been there with you. Yep. Everybody but Nick, honestly. Sorry, Nick. Can't get enough Shabu Shabu. I hope 2023 has a lot of Shabu Shabu in it as well. Tiny Town. Really hit my stride with Tiny Town. You guys haven't seen the Christmas Village yet?
We've seen...
No,
you've seen Halloween. You haven't seen the Christmas Village.
I've seen Halloween. Haven't seen Christmas.
Christmas Village is all Emily, but it is gorgeous. And we'll be filming a special Anima podcast.
Want to try to get that hopefully next week, but we can talk about it later.
I'm all about that. Jock itch medicine. Didn't know it existed. Assumed it existed. Didn't think I'd ever need it. Saved my life eventually, slowly, over about 6 months. I think I'm like 98% of the way through with that. But it was a huge help. PS5. Got a PS5 in 2022. Pretty cool. Appreciate that.
New God of War yet?
No, I haven't taken it out of the box yet, but I've got it. I'm really jazzed about it. I'm really jazzed about it.
He's excited about it.
Yep.
And here's the next one you'll see why I had to cut off the other thing. Gus. Yeah. Gus was great in 2022.
I agree.
Really enjoyed. It was a good Gus year. Really enjoyed interacting with him, making content with him again. We hadn't made content together in many years. It was good. Gus was good in 20. He sucked in some previous years, but 2022 he was fucking on point. It was a good Gus year.
Is this the year of Anma? Is that when it started this year, or was it last year?
I don't know. It's this year.
Really?
Who can tell?
Yeah, this year. Me and Nick can. Yes,
Okay,
this
there you
year.
go.
You
Listen
also
to them;
could.
they probably know. And the last thing on my list. I figured a lot of people would put like TV and movies and stuff. I will say, I discovered Real Housewives of Potomac in 2022, and that might have benefited me in more than anything else. No offense to Emily or Millie, but Real Housewives of Potomac is the greatest version of the Real Housewives franchises that I've ever seen. I am instantly hooked, and I can't believe I slept so long. The Wendy Mia drama, oh my God. And let me tell you, you have the world's biggest fucking Karen stan right here. She is fucking awesome. I will also say, 2022, bit of a stumble for Salt Lake City, I think. Bit of a stumble. Bit of a stumble for Salt Lake City, I think. I haven't enjoyed it as much this season as I wanted to. Also, largely not a great year for, and I think anybody who watched Housewives of Beverly Hills understands it wasn't a great year for the Beverly Hills women. However, I will say, they're even taking an extended break from the show.
Wow.
Before they record again. I will say, this year was the redemption of Sutton. Started off really rough. Sutton has a way of putting her foot in her mouth. She caught some heat for not showing appropriate deference to and she wasn't conciliatory at all to when Dorrit got her house broken into and the guys almost killed her and her kids. And then she tried to equate that with
what?
Yeah, so like Dorrit, she was home one night, her husband was out of town. Armed robbers came in, put a gun to her head, emptied out the whole house, told her they were going to kill her and the kids, and then they left her and she lived. And then when it was relayed to Sutton, she said, "It's been one of those days. I had a designer coming in for a fashion show and his flight got canceled." And so people were like, "That's not the same thing," you know.
However, neck and neck.
However, since that moment, Sutton has been phenomenal, on point, and the relationship between her and Garcelle, I live for it. They are the new core of the Housewives of Beverly Hills. So really looking forward to good things.
Sounds like the thing he's
with them
most
in the future.
Thankful for.
This is way more than music.
Yeah, remember when he
started?
Started getting engaged and just moved on?
Yeah, such a good year for music. Also, I listen to it every day. I listen to more music than anything else this year. More than any podcast, more than video games. Well, I don't even really play video games. More than anything. Last thing I have here, the mall. We've talked about it at Anima briefly. The mall is back. I am telling you, if you are not hanging out at the mall, you are sleeping. You are missing out. The mall has returned. Indoor malls. We all thought they were dead. Barton Creek Mall is fucking awesome. It is a hive of activity. They got stores you've never heard of in that mall, and they're all popping off.
Most of them are not franchised. They're just like weird one-offs.
I went to the mall the other day. Oh my God. I was so blown away. I had to take Millie and Emily. Took Millie and Emily. We're there. Millie is super trepidatious. She's like, eh. And I go, well, I'm sure all your friends hang out at the mall, right? Millie's like, no, none of my friends hang out at the mall. We go to the food court. We were in the food court for 3 seconds before we hear, Millie! Turn around. 36 of her friends are hanging out at the mall.
She just wasn't invited to the mall.
I was just like, I thought your friends don't go to the mall. And she's like, I guess I thought they didn't either.
Oh, shit.
Found out they do. And apparently they're not inviting her. So we'll have to fucking get to the bottom of that.
Busted.
So they got Tiny Town at the Dillards at the mall, which is, I've been driving to Fredericksburg to get that shit. Or like what we really do, because it's so goddamn expensive, you got to go to estate sales. You guys don't know this, but every weekend I go to estate sales with Emily to look for Tiny Town, mostly to buy it from dead people because it's cheaper that way. One thing about the mall, went to do you guys know about the Cheesecake Factory? How I've been trying to go to the Cheesecake Factory for about 6 months, and anytime we try to go,
let's just go today.
There's like you can't. There's a 2.5 hour wait. Anytime you try to go to the Cheesecake Factory, there's a huge wait.
Did you get it for delivery?
Huge wait.
We went for Face Jam in the middle of the day on Tuesday. There was like a 10-minute wait.
Well, I'm usually at work, but I mean, we could do it in the daytime. However, we try to go to dinner at Cheesecake Factory. They're like, sorry, that'd be a 7-hour wait.
You're trying to go to dinner?
What are you,
Cheesecake Factory?
Uchiko? And they're like, yeah, no, you could get into Uchiko. You can't get into Cheesecake Factory. Found out Barton Creek Mall has a Cheesecake Factory.
Yes.
Finally went in. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
Yes.
I don't like Cheesecake Factory at all.
Why me and Nick just kept looking at each other like, why the fuck are you doing this?
Yeah, Emily and superfan Vanessa have been talking it up for years, and it's a dump.
Well, it surely can't be good when there's 78 different items on the menu.
Well, that's the thing.
Get avocado egg rolls or pancakes.
There is the book, the menu is the size of like the mechanic's guide for like a 1972 Ford F-150.
It's almost the size of your Ramsey Golf Club.
Yeah, it's massive. It's like an entire cookbook. One thing I ordered, I thought, I don't know what to get. There's so many things called factory here. Factory chicken, factory hot chicken. I don't want anything named factory, right?
Yeah.
So, and I realized I'm in a place called the Cheesecake Factory, but I didn't think they'd be so on the nose with the naming structure. So I thought, well, I'll just get a club sandwich because it's not a factory club sandwich or a club factory sandwich. They were out of turkey. Now, Emily says, why the fuck would you order turkey the day after Thanksgiving? But, which I think is a fair point.
She's right, yes.
I think it's a fair point. But if you've got 19 turkey meals on your menu, I think you'd have turkey.
You think?
I think it's bullshit. Anyway, that's 2022.
That displays the depth of the menu, though. Like a restaurant, they still have 80% of the menu available, and they're missing 19 dishes. Like, it's absurd. I've never been.
The loss of turkey takes out like a fifth of the entire menu.
And suddenly, all I wanted was turkey.
I have a question about your list, Jeff.
Okay.
Now, you mentioned tiny homes, and you go to estate sales. Is this
tiny
a
town.
good year
Tiny
for
town.
dead people?
What's that?
Is this a good year for dead people, like for acquiring tiny towns? Have you had a good haul this year?
Let me
Has it been a
just
low
say that the last like 2 or 3 years there've been a lot of estate sales.
Is there like a dead list, like a Craigslist for just that kind of thing, or do you have to physically go to them?
What do you mean? Oh, is there like a Craigslist for estate sales?
Yeah, for the dead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, an estate sale doesn't mean they died. It could mean that they moved into assisted living. It could mean they decided to go move in with their family in Florida and they just want to sell all their crap. Yeah.
Got it.
It doesn't necessarily mean dead, but that's part of the fun of going to an estate sale is you walk around, you look at the house, you look at the state of it, and then you play the game, what happened to these people?
Yeah. Do you think
it's like when you see snow without footprints in front of someone's door.
Right. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Guess who might be dead?
Yeah. Do you think typically these people are moving somewhere else, or do you think they're moving on?
Emily finds out.
Oh.
And I'd say it's probably 50-50. She has ways of finding out.
Wow.
She's good.
That's
Like
pretty cool.
leading questions and stuff.
Yeah,
like, hey, what happened to this
and Google turns out when people die, it's reported, so you can look it up. So I would say it's like 50-50 probably. But I mean, anybody that's had to buy a Department 56 Village knows how expensive they are. Way easier to buy them to people who don't need them anymore.
How much are we talking?
One of those little houses costs like $140,
Oh my God.
or 15 if you buy it from somebody who's no longer alive.
Well, that's a great roundup from Jeff.
Yeah, so that's 2022.
That's fantastic. That's an extensive list.
Emily, Millie, Tap, Gus, Mall, music, Shabu Shabu. That's pretty much it, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
All right, who's next?
I can go next. 'cause
Okay.
I feel like I probably am more prepared than Gavin. I don't have
I got like
nearly
3
as much
things,
as
probably.
you, Jeff. I have 3 things as well. The first is, has anyone here seen the Yellow Belly sketch from SCTV?
No.
I don't remember it.
So SCTV was this sketch comedy show, and it was in like the 80s, I want to say. It was a Canadian-based one.
Yeah.
It was an insanely stacked cast of like John Candy,
Eugene
and
Levy,
Yeah, Rick
Catherine
Moranis?
O'Hara. I don't
Was
know
Martin
if
Short
he-
in SCTV?
Oh,
No,
maybe
he
that's what I'm
wasn't.
thinking of. No?
No. Who else?
Rick
Dave
Moranis was
Thomas, who was
definitely
an
on it.
MVP.
Dave Thomas, yeah, he's
in it. Harold Ramis was in it. Like, it's fantastic. So I've been going back and watching that because as a kid, it would air on Comedy Central for me, but I was too young. Like, I just didn't get any of the humor. It was sort of like a weird show, and I just changed channels. So I've been going back, and I've been revisiting SCTV, and it doesn't
Nice.
always land. But when you have so many comedic legends in like a show, it's just so fascinating to watch them, and they're so like, even when the joke isn't that funny, they're just such great performers. This is my favorite sketch, and it's a little on the nose with the Vancouver child kicker thing, but I'm sending it to Eric for you guys to watch.
Yep.
It's called Yellow Belly. And I've seen this like 20 times at this point. I laugh. It was almost, well, I'll explain after.
Okay.
Let me know when you started Yellow Belly.
Here we go.
So they do these shows where it's like fake shows that they've made within their station, sort of the premise.
During the Civil War for his double-dealing treachery. He's the biggest coward in the West. He's Yellow Belly.
The John Candy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scared of a child. What? Oh my God!
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah. Oh, this sketch is really funny. Dude,
Oh my god.
dude, that rules. That's really funny.
Oh my god,
Dude.
That's gonna make their scene together in Home Alone way funnier.
I'm a big fan of a get in, get out sketch premise.
Yeah.
That one gets in and gets out.
it gets out
What
hard.
what a blast.
Everything about it makes me. The impact the child has when being shot is so funny to me,
Great
and that
stunt.
they're in frame the entire
Oh,
time.
that's very funny.
Oh, I almost wanted to draft that kid in my fall list. It was a hard consideration, but I knew we were
Great-
doing this. and I
Great
figured-
2022 moment.
Yeah. Oh, it's brought. Watch it. Oh, it's so great. Just the premise that is like a Criminal Minds like show, like on a daytime. Oh, it's so funny. So that was that. My second thing, I play a lot of games. I don't talk about it a lot on the show. It's probably my favorite hobby I invest a lot into. So I just wrote down some indie games that I really enjoyed from this year that I'd recommend people check out that don't get necessarily a lot of attention. Almost all of these are on Game Pass, but I think they're also multi-platform, a lot of them. So my list of indie games that I would recommend are Tinykin, which is, I don't know if anyone here has played Pikmin.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very Pikmin-like. It's like Pikmin, but no combat, which I know doesn't necessarily sound fun, but it's just this super meditative game where you play this like tiny little person who's running around this house from the 80s, and you have to try to collect ship pieces to like return home.
Oh, okay.
And you're collecting pollen, so it's like kind of a collectathon, but it's really low key. It's awesome.
And you
It's
said
so much fun.
ship with a
It's-
P, right? Ship pieces?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Making sure.
Yeah. Not shit pieces.
Oh, okay.
It's a different game.
Got it.
I've never played a shit piece collectathon. There's too much shit in this game, which can't be happening. Like, that's a collectathon thing. Anyway, next game. Nobody Saves the World. It's a really impressive RPG, small team. As I said, on Game Pass. I think it's on multiple platforms. It's a lot of fun. It's really inventive for what it is. It's a kind of unique art style. It's just a good game. I'd highly recommend checking that out. And then my last one is Research and Destroy, which is like a hard to explain. It's like a turn-based, but you move action shooter game. It's co-op. I should have written down like.
No,
how
you're
to
doing a great
articulate.
job.
I played it back in. No, I'm doing terrible. But I played it in like February. It's a great game. I've never heard anyone else recommend it.
Can't
Give it a
imagine
try.
why.
It's on-
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry I couldn't be more detailed. The music was great this year.
It
I
was. Did
apologize.
you
I
also
didn't get
enjoy
to the-
music this year?
Not,
fan.
not especially, a little bit, I guess, but no, I wouldn't say it was a
You
great
enjoyed a little bit of
year.
music this year.
Another thing that I don't know if we've ever talked about on the show, but it's extended into this year, is when Gavin and I play Halo, we'll be talking, we having fun. Whenever he gets a lead near the end of the game, he calls it a screenshot game, in which he said he would screenshot anytime he had more kills than I had.
Yeah, I screenshot the leaderboard at the end. The scoreboard.
Yeah. And it creates this frantic race. And I enjoy it immensely. It's extended into absurd side bets. It eventually led into a thing. Gavin tried to, we're talking about, you know how there are like names for numbers, Jeff? So like you have a baker's dozen. That's like a name for a thing. We're talking about that, and we're listing the different ones. And then Gavin said something, and I said, that's not real. That's fake. Like that's the worst fake name I've ever heard.
Well, because I think first I suggested like a score. It's like 20. Is that right?
Yeah. We're setting like lines,
Words
like
for
what you
numbers.
would call different leads you'd have in kills for this. And I don't remember what you said the word was. He said he was trying to, we're like going back and forth, and he tried to trick me, and it was the worst lie I've ever heard. It was so blatantly a lie. I was like, that's fake. And Gavin immediately broke and started laughing.
Yeah.
And I said, what would that have represented? What amount of, he said 67. Nobody needs a term for 67 items. What has turned into a problem is I forgot what he said, and he refuses to tell me. This has been a weeks-long struggle, like several months at this point, of me trying to figure out what this is, me trying different strategies to get him to tell me, pretending I don't care about it, acting like it never. I've tried everything, and it's infuriating, but it has to be on my list.
It's for
best thing.
67?
67, I believe. I know I was going to check on my phone what he said.
Well,
I
let
believe
me
it was
tell you,
67.
Gavin very graciously just wrote it down on a piece of paper and gave it to us, so we all know what it's called now too.
That's so mean. That's so rude.
Nick, I want you to see it too.
Damn.
So.
I don't even remember my guess.
He's
okay.
Just so we're clear, he's never gonna.
No,
guess
never in
that.
a million
No.
years will he get
And
there.
I presented it like, I tried to do it totally casually. I was like, yeah, baker's dozen, 13, score is like 20, and then X is 70,
Did great.
67.
Uh-huh.
And and then I broke like halfway through.
But looking at that word, isn't it the fakest sounding word you've
No.
ever heard?
No, that's totally plausible to me.
Yeah, it seems like
It's a very Hubert Adams type thing
Yes.
where if Gavin said it to me,
Yep.
I would go, that's too stupid to not be real.
Yep.
Like, this is not
Really?
where I'm not going to die on
Oh.
this hill with you again. I would instantly believe it.
That's fascinating. Well, I don't know what it is. I'm still infuriated by it. I fucking hate. I didn't expect that this would turn into all of you knowing as well.
Well,
It's pretty exciting.
when you guess it correctly, I will tell you that you've got it.
That's the problem. Yeah, I don't even remember what my guesses were, but I was stuck.
What do you remember about the word?
I don't remember anything at this point, which makes it even worse. Like before.
Because in conversation in the game, we both said it probably 25 times.
Oh, absolutely. And then I forgot it 2 games later. What it's like is like the name of it. It's like we're in the water and I'm constantly drifting further away. And now I'm miles away. I have no trace of what direction to go in.
I feel like every time you've guessed, it's just gotten you further away from it.
Like, you don't
It's
even know which
wrecking.
direction
Really?
land is, right? So you,
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite
Yeah,
thing
no clue
about
how to
doing
find it.
the screenshot games is that, like, Andrew and I talk a lot. We very casually play, even ranked. But it'll get to the point where it's like I have 16 kills and he has 12. And eventually he'll just stop talking because I realize he's noticed the scoreboard.
He's
and
dialed
he
in.
goes dead silent. And all I hear is like grunting and like, oh, and as he's like really trying to play really hard to get ahead of me right towards the end of the game. It's definitely my favorite thing about playing with him.
It's great.
I wish there was a way we could tell the entire world what this name is.
Yeah,
without
there's
you
no
knowing
way.
it.
You can't.
I want every regulation listener
Yeah.
and comment leaver to know.
What about
it.
this? And you're not gonna. I will put my headset down.
No.
and I will
No,
not
absolutely
listen
not.
to this.
Nope.
No.
100% no.
No. What we will do
Okay.
is figure out a way to leak it into the content without you realizing it.
Interesting. I like that idea a lot.
Great.
That's a fantastic plan. And the last thing, and I already talked about it, so it's not a great topic to have for my end, but it truly one of my funniest things of this year. It's been consistent every year is how our audience takes things and just creates something ridiculous and absurd. It's been the Christmas albums in the past. This year, it was Anal Passage for me.
Yeah,
This thing that was
dude.
like supposed to be up for like a day or two and then be pulled. And then they turned it into the #1 shirt in the store. It's so fucking funny. It's such a lame isn't the right word, but it's such a general thing. But Jeff said music. But our community is consistently one of my favorite things of each year and the ways that they surprise me and how funny and creative they are.
I really love tracing stuff back, like the origins of how stuff happened. Like Anal Passage, I think came from the video of you and Jack trying Bovril. That was just at some random thing.
Yeah.
It was in
Yeah.
England, yeah.
Yeah, and I just it was like his shirt was folded.
Looked like
in
it
a
said
way
Anal
that-
Yeah.
Passage. Or like, I was thinking about this the other day. Fucking the Monkey movie, which we finally watched in VP2,
Yeah.
was first referenced like in episode 4
Yep.
of this podcast. Like episode 4 of Face, Andrew mentions MVP2, and then again in episode 5, he goes like into it in detail. And we watched it around episode 128. Talk about like tracing it back. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I love that we get stuff done on this podcast. Like
Eventually.
the ideas eventually happen.
It's tough, but we do it.
And
That's
that
a good
my
list.
That's
Andrew,
a great,
that's a
great
great
list,
list.
Andrew. Great
I love
list. Fantastic list. Gavin.
My favorite thing about 2022 is not having to worry about whether one of our stupid bits works. Like I went to the pizza cooking day with absolutely no fear that we would walk away with a really funny video,
Mm-hmm.
which I think we should. We can watch my cut after this as well, by the way.
I'd love
Oh,
to.
that'd
Yeah.
be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
But yeah, just like just knowing in advance, like this is just going to be good no matter what. And I think that's pretty special. And it doesn't happen with everything you work on.
Yeah, so hubris was one of the things you liked about 2023. Got it. Overconfidence. Yeah, no.
Well, you could interpret it that way. You could, yeah.
Hitting a home run every at bat. No problem.
Undo send.
Yeah.
I thought
That's great.
I don't see myself ever using that until I was texting Jackie Butler, Alfredo's partner, who was playing God of War right before the next one came out, God of War Ragnarok. And I sent her a text because I knew she'd been streaming it. And after God of War Ragnarok came out, I sent her a text saying, "Are you on the rag yet?" Which is which just means, "Are you on your period yet?" And
Yes, it does.
I thought, let me undo send and rephrase that in a way that
Pretty good. Way to go, man.
isn't me asking
you
her.
go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I fully spelled out Ragnarok.
Wow.
Good work.
So that was good. That was 2022.
Yep.
I don't actually think I rewrote it. I think I just didn't send it at all.
Oh boy.
I thought better. I don't even care. 2022 moments. I just kicked my shoe into an iron girder in the
Really?
ceiling.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever heard Barbara laugh so much in all of her life. That was the highlight that I just went and did because I didn't have anything for my list. Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick, damn good movie. They were sat on that thing for a couple of years. They had that in the can. What must have that been like, just having that film finished?
Crazy.
And finally, being able to film again with Dan. That was an important part for me of 2022. I hate making my own channel without.
Sequencing is amazing. You put Dan behind Top Gun Maverick, and the shoe you just kicked.
It's true. I hate making my own YouTube channel on my own, which is a problem. Had to do it for 2 years. It sucked. Glad he's back. And finally,
So it took till 2022 for you to learn to appreciate Dan.
no, I already. Well,
I think appreciate's a strong word.
I'm saying, man, I would love to get there someday. We'll see what we can do in 2023.
I think you'll eventually appreciate Dan too. And finally, England winning the World Cup.
Hasn't happened.
They
Wow.
have
Hasn't
they have
happened. I feel like-
France.
I feel like maybe if I say it, they'll win.
Is that next?
But yeah, England will lose to France on the 10th of December. But if I say that they won, maybe it'll push it through.
Make a
Oh,
bet.
yeah.
You want to make a bet? You bet $50
I'll bet $50 they won't.
that you won't what?
That they won't win.
No, why would you take that? I thought you're an England
But
fan.
you
What
just
is this?
declared that they.
Why
they're
bet
gonna
money
win.
when we have double salted black licorice?
That's true.
We both think England's going to lose. That's why we can't bet.
That's my list.
That's a great
That's
list.
a great
Gavin.
list.
That's a great list.
Great
That's a
list.
good list.
That's a
Top Gun Maverick.
fantastic
Great
list.
movie.
Look,
It's
I
you know
will
what? I
watch-
haven't seen it yet.
I will watch that lunatic Scientologist make anything. it
Yeah,
turns
I
out.
totally agree. He is the definition of suspending disbelief.
Yeah.
Like as a person, you're like, but then you put a gun in that guy's hand and you tell him to run in a direction, and you're like, I'm in. You son of a bitch, I'm
Doing
in.
it all. Like,
Yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah,
there's
it's-
no way he does it in this movie. And boy, he does it near the end. And you go, cannot believe they fucking did it. He
Yeah.
fucking did it. Incredible.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Eric?
I don't think there's any other actor I'm more excited about getting old. Like he's gonna have to
interesting.
change what movies he makes.
I don't think he's going to. I think you're seeing old
Really?
Tom. I think you're seeing old Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
right
he
now.
already retired from Mission Impossible 5 movies ago, and he's
Yeah.
Yep.
still back.
He's sick. He's
If he
60.
does this as a
Yeah.
60-year-old, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I mean, Liam Neeson's out there fighting wolves, and he's 95.
That's a great point.
He's out there. He's fighting wolves. He's pissing his pants. He's doing it all.
He's jumped the same fence 82 times.
What was it, like 12 cuts?
Yeah.
My list is, I think, a little more succinct, but I think music's on there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know,
guys,
in
you guys know about music?
Yeah, big fan.
Awesome.
I've heard of it.
I've just realized in 7 years, Tom Cruise will be years old.
Oh!
Oh,
That's exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
He'll be 67, so he'll be that word.
Yep.
That's excellent.
Wow.
That's on my
So
that's on my
thrilled
list.
that you
of-
guys can all bond over this.
Yep.
Can I amend my list to
yeah.
add something?
Oh yeah, no kidding. I'm thankful for the word 67.
Yeah.
And what it truly is. Going off of Top Gun Maverick,
It's Nick every time.
seeing movies with my friends this year was so much fun. Seeing Ambulance at the beginning of the
Oh,
year
boy.
with you and TPG.
Incredible evening.
Yeah, really great stuff. We learned about the ultimate combo, which we don't know what it is still. It
One day
really
we'll find out.
sounded really cool. Went and saw Top Gun Maverick with my buddy Robbie. We went to Baby A's and got hammered on margaritas, and then watched that movie in 40X, and it was like we
Oh
were.
my
It was
God.
like we were in the plane.
Could it have been a
was
better
phenomenal.
movie? Is that like the best 40X?
100%.
Yeah.
It like we were tanked, and then drinking beer there and going like, this fucking rules. This fucking rules. I couldn't get enough. I didn't see a lot of movies in theaters. I don't see a lot of movies anymore, but that seeing them with friends was a lot of fun. I am grateful that pro wrestling is back and there are live sporting events to go to. Not just wrestling, but sports in general. Went to a Cowboys game, went to a bunch of Padres games, just being able to be in a crowd, that energy that you get from live sports is really meaningful to me. And on that, I'm grateful for the 2022 San Diego Padres, who destroyed the Los Angeles Dodgers. Congratulations to the Dodgers winning 111 games and one playoff game. Way to go, guys.
And congratulations to Fernando Tatis for getting rid of those pesky worms.
My team is now in 2023 worm free.
There you go.
We are worm free in 2023.
You had like butt worms?
No, he took steroids, but that was for like, this is like a banned substance and it's supposed to like get rid of some kind of worm or like ringworm or something.
It was called ivermectin.
Yeah. He's a horse, man. I'm also this year grateful for, I got to take a bunch of trips that I had a good time with. Went to Vegas, went back home to San Diego, and just had a good time. Was able to travel and stuff. And then on the tail of that, had a great time with my small wife. And she,
didn't you also get a small wife this year?
No, it was last year.
Oh,
so it's been good.
Retained your small wife for another year.
I retained, yeah. So far, my thing I'm thankful for is retaining my small wife. And as much as people don't want to hear it, my job. I really like doing this.
Well, you didn't look like it 2 hours ago.
That's true.
I can't believe you just said that on the same day as this.
I really do. I really do like doing that. I'd rather be doing this than working in IT again, or at a zoo again, or at a Pier 1 Imports, or
even
an electrical contractor, even a Target. This is great. It's a lot of fun. They pay me decent money to do something that I really like doing. So it's great to be able to record, come up with new ideas like Anma, which is just had a conversation. Someone's like, oh yeah, just rehashing the RT podcast. And I went, yeah, but this is a free cup of coffee that I get every week. So now it's even better. You dipshit. So grateful for all the stuff we get to do, and being able to do it, and the weird ideas that we can sort of piggyback onto things. And I'm hoping that next year we can do work with Cocaine Bear. I want to do something with Cocaine Bear.
I don't even know what that movie?
Yeah, it's a movie about a bear that does
I saw
cocaine.
the trailer.
Isn't that
That's right.
awesome?
Yeah, it's based on a true story, apparently, too.
Yeah. The bear does a bunch of cocaine. That's it. You think it's in 4DX? You think it makes you so fucking jittery?
Just cocaine blowing at you in the theater.
Oh no, I'm gonna see Cocaine Bear again. I'm addicted to Cocaine Bear. But I think that's my list. It's just nice to be with people again, I think, is my big sort of takeaway from all of it. So
yeah, that's a great list. Can I make an addition to my list?
Is it music?
You reminded me of some. No, it's not music.
No.
It's not music, sadly. It's a tweet that really made me laugh. You're talking about sports, and I can link it to something else. I'm going to post it in our Slack channel.
Okay.
For everybody to see. It was just the caption, what they used to describe it. I think it's hilarious. I'll read it. Cam Akers explodes for 37 yards in Week 12 loss.
Explodes.
The implication that is what exploding is, which then took me back to one of my favorite old sports clips. Eric, do you mind showing one more video? I know I said I only had one.
No, it's fine. It's not a problem.
Let me pull it up. So a long time ago with the Canucks, one of my favorite sports clips of all time, there's a press conference with the head coach, and the reporter was talking to him and like asking him questions about like the last game. And he said, what did you think of your third line? So in hockey, like the third line is like not an elite player at all. Like they're good, but not great typically. And he's like, how did you feel about your third line performance this week? Kyle Wellwood played like a man possessed. He had like an assist. Like the notion that playing like a man possessed for Kyle Wellwood would be an average stat line for a good player, and the coach cannot contain himself at it, and it brings me so much joy. It's the Cam Akers. I'm sending it. I guess I'll put it in the same place.
Oh, okay.
It's there for Eric for you to pull. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wellwood, a man possessed. It's like 40 seconds. Just the embarrassment you would feel as a player.
Yeah.
That like your coach would break over saying that you did really great. Like that is your all-star performance.
That's very
Had same
funny.
energy.
Oh, there you
One
go.
of my favorite clips.
Nick, do you have anything to be thankful for?
I'm thankful for a child that sleeps through the night.
Yay!
Yeah, that's a
That's
fantastic.
the biggest thing.
Oh, I'm so tired still.
Well, it no, it doesn't. It's just harder in different ways. I was gonna say.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'll just get more difficult in some other way. Yeah, you'll transfer your exhaustion to that.
Hey,
Excellent.
Nick, would
I
you
look forward
consider
to it.
that a hack? That piece of information that Jeff just gave you? 'Cause I think Gavin
Is that a
would.
life hack?
All
I think
right.
that might be a life hack.
Well,
It is now.
hey, you know what? I'm gonna put something on my 2023 list.
Yeah.
okay.
When we all met up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, Olympics
That's on,
in February,
That's on
right?
mine too. Yep.
We're doing that still.
Yeah. February in Vancouver or in Austin?
In
or-
Austin,
Okay.
I think.
I'm going to have to go
Okay.
back to Austin.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna have to go back to Austin.
Yeah.
After all these years.
Nah, last week. Not even a week ago.
Well, there you have it. That's what we're thankful for. And we're thankful for you. Andrew already said community, but thank you guys for listening. It is a lot of fun when we get feedback. Maybe you don't have to tweet at me directly, your feedback, but you can put it anywhere else, and that's probably good. But it is nice that people are checking this out and people get so adamant and excited. Like we had so much that kind of came out of nowhere. Like we made a Gerpler. Like we made a switch fuck. We made like insane. We have like these two.
I saw them dominating the
Yeah. Oh, isn't that
the
nuts?
Black Friday sale. Both of them.
We made 2 shirts with Pedro Martinez and Don Cimarron. Like
Who's doing that in 2022?
no one.
Can I have one? Do I have one of these somewhere?
I don't know. I can check.
They didn't mail you?
They
I
should
don't
have.
get-
They
I-
should have
I
sent
don't
it to
get
me.
any.
I got like 6 in the mail.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they should have
I'm gonna
sent
give
it
them
to
away
you.
as Christmas presents.
It's good.
That way I can say, hey, you.
But yeah, I think that's it. Anything else that anyone else wants to take it home with? Thank you.
I'll say one last thing.
Yeah.
I'll add to the good feelings and say that I also appreciate the audience this year. More than anything, I appreciate y'all, and more than all of you, I appreciate Andrew for being the inspiration for this very podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it was good. It was a good year for It was a good 2022 Andrew year.
A redemption year?
Some of it.
Okay.
See you in 2023, losers.